Welcome to Greek for a Week. We are looking at a diagram this particular week and a diagram of chapter 5, verses 1 through 4. And as you recall, I have worked through chapter 5, verses 1 through 5, and I brought that back to verse 4. You'll see as we do some diagramming here in a couple of slides as to why I pulled that back. And I'll take chapter 5, I'll use verse 5 then to move forward for the second paragraph, which will go through verse 11. So as you look at the Greek text here, again, verses 1 through 4 is what we're looking at here, primarily the responsibility of the elders. You'll notice that he is admonishing and exhorting the elders, namely to shepherd, and specifically shepherd them in certain ways. And he will use these adverbs of manner to demonstrate how the elder is to shepherd the flock, to care for, guide, and so forth the flock. So as we move forward here, Peter begins with therefore, and he's using the un here in an inferential use, which just simply means that I'm introducing exhortations. So the exhortations will move forward in the text, but they are grounded in what he has already said in the preceding context. But he describes himself as he exhorts or as he admonishes his elders. He says, I am a fellow elder. He also says that he is a witness of the sufferings of Christ. And then thirdly, he is a fellow partaker, or you could say a sharer of the glory. And then what is it about the glory? And that's where he has an attributive participle here that is about what, and then here's to be revealed. So the to be revealed will be a complementary infinitive. It completes the thought of this attributive participle, which comes from mello, and mello means I am about to. So he uses these descriptions here to basically say, I've done some of the same work that you've done. So I'm going to exhort you. And I've used the text here in green because I'm going to bring out some other issues in verse 5. Or I should say, not issues, I should say I'm going to be bringing out some other people groups later. So that's why I stopped at verse 4. I want to show you how 5 through 11 not only fits together, but how it fits with verse 4. So I'll show you that here in a couple of weeks. So I'm exhorting the elders among you. Again, here's our primary point, and that is to shepherd. Shepherd specifically the flock of God among you. Now, again, how do I do that? Well, the participle here of manner is by watching over. Episka puntes. Some have suggested this is a participle or an imperatival participle. I'm not so sure that it is. I think he's describing how you are to shepherd. And then again, he uses the different adverbs of manner to do that, not in an obligatory way, not with obligation, but rather what I'm asking you to do is I'm asking you to do it willingly. Again, not greedily, but eagerly. So these, let me go one more here. And again, not by domineering. So again, another participle of manner, not in a domineering way should you do it to those who have been given to your charge, but, and then here's another participle of manner, but by being an example to the flock. So really all of this here is Peter's way of describing how is the elder to shepherd. And then he concludes with verse 4, and when the chief shepherd appears, Here's a genitive absolute here when, which is why I chose the word when here. Genitive absolute in temporal sense. When the chief shepherd appears, you will receive the unfading crown of glory. All right, so how might I present this? Again, it's a small section here, a small passage. What is the responsibility of the elder? Again, I would say that Peter exhorts, he appeals to the elders by describing himself in this way. So this would probably serve as the introduction to my message, and then I would get to the main point of shepherding or caring for the flock. I think that's a good way to describe it. And then again, how do I do this? What's the manner in which I shepherd? And I would see that in verses 2 and 3. Verses 5 through 11 we'll work through in the coming weeks. We've already done verse 5, so probably 6 and 7 maybe, 8 and 9, and then 10 and 11 will kind of be the order. And then I will bring this back up when we diagram so that you can see how verse 5 fits together. Have a great week. That's chapter 5, verses 1 through 4, diagrammed of 1 Peter.